Everyone, today, I want to speak about something powerful, a mindset that can change your life. Ignore everyone, and everyone will run behind you. In a world full of noise, opinions, and distractions, it's easy to get caught up in what others think, say, or expect from us. But true success, the kind that turns heads, doesn't come from pleasing the crowd. It comes from focus, discipline, and believing in yourself even when no one else does. Think of the people who inspire you, the innovators, the creators, the legends. They didn't wait for approval. They weren't swayed by criticism. They had a vision and they chased it, no matter who laughed or doubted. And eventually, the same people who ignored or mocked them became their followers, fans, and supporters. So if you're chasing a dream, a goal, or even just becoming the best version of yourself, remember this. Ignore everyone, ignore the negativity, ignore the doubt, ignore the pressure to conform. Focus on your path, and if you stay consistent, dedicated, and true to yourself, you'll find something amazing happen. In life, you'll always hear voices, some cheering you on, others trying to tear you down. But what truly determines your success is not what they say, it's what you choose to listen to. The world is full of distractions. People will question your ideas, criticize your ambitions, and laugh at your dreams simply because they can't see what you see. Often, it's not because they don't believe in you, but because they can't imagine more for themselves. If you let every comment, every doubt, every sarcastic remark get into your head, you'll find yourself slowing down, second guessing, and eventually stopping. The noise around you can drown out your inner voice, the one that knows your purpose, your potential, your passion. To achieve anything remarkable, you must learn to protect that voice. Turn down the volume of the outside world and turn up the clarity of your own mind. It's not about arrogance, it's about discipline. When you ignore the noise, you're not being disrespectful. You're being focused. You're preserving your energy for something greater, because when your attention is scattered, your power is scattered. But when your attention is sharp, your power is unstoppable. The most successful people in history weren't the ones who listened to everyone. They were the ones who chose carefully, whose voice mattered, and blocked out the rest. Learn to do the same, and you'll find your path becomes clearer, your confidence stronger, and your progress faster. The world might be loud, but your purpose must be louder. Ignore the noise and watch how the same voices that once tried to distract you begin to fall silent, replaced by applause. Everything meaningful in life begins with a vision, a clear picture of where you want to be, what you want to become, or what you want to create. It's that image in your mind that drives you to wake up with purpose, to push through challenges, and to keep going even when nothing around you is encouraging. But the problem is, most people lose sight of that vision along the way. They start strong, full of hope, but then life begins to distract them. Comparisons, failures, temporary comfort, and outside pressure start clouding their mental picture. That's when doubt creeps in. But those who truly succeed are not the most talented or the luckiest. They are the most focused. They don't let detours turn into destinations. They don't let opinions override their instincts. They stay locked in on their vision like a lighthouse cutting through a storm. When you focus on your vision with everything you've got, you become immune to the chaos around you. Your energy becomes precise. Your time becomes sacred. Your choices start to reflect what you want to build, not what you want to escape. And even when progress feels slow, your direction stays firm. It's not about how fast you move. It's about how clear your destination is. Focus sharpens your efforts. It gives meaning to your sacrifices. It reminds you why you started when motivation fades. Without vision, people drift. They become passengers in their own lives. But with vision, you become the driver. You may not have all the answers or resources right away, but when your focus is strong, you'll find the road. And if there's no road, you'll build one. That's the power of locking in on what you truly want, because once your vision becomes your obsession, your reality begins to shift, and what once felt impossible begins to unfold in front of you. Life will test you, not once, not twice, but over and over again. It's not a question of if, but when. You will face rejection, doubt, failure, criticism, and sometimes even betrayal from the people you expected support from the most. These are not signs to stop, they are signs to grow. But in these moments, the real question becomes, will you stand firm or will you break? Being unshakable doesn't mean you won't feel pain, confusion, or frustration. It means you won't let those feelings control your direction. You won't fold just because someone else can't see what you're capable of. You won't quit just because the path isn't smooth. The world will try to shake your belief, shake your confidence, shake your dream until it feels like it's no longer worth holding on to. But if you can stand tall through the storm, you'll come out stronger than ever. Being unshakable is about having a level of inner strength that doesn't depend on outer circumstances. It's about choosing resilience even when quitting would be easier. It's about knowing who you are so deeply that the world's confusion doesn't become your own. People will criticize you simply because they don't understand your journey. Some will laugh, some will talk behind your back, and some will try to tear you down because your drive reminds them of their own inaction. Let them. Your job is not to prove them wrong, it's to prove yourself right. Steel is forged in fire, and greatness is built through pressure. Every time you refuse to give in, every time you keep moving forward when everything around you says stop, you become more powerful. You begin to build a foundation so strong that no opinion, no failure, no setback can shake it. And one day, those who once doubted you will look back in awe, not just because you succeeded, but because you never flinched. You held your ground, you stayed committed, you were unshakable. There will always be moments when you feel the urge to explain yourself, to defend your dreams, to justify your choices, to prove to the world that you're not wasting your time. But the truth is, real power doesn't come from talking, it comes from doing. Let your success speak louder than any argument you could ever make. People may doubt you now, they may look at your goals and call them unrealistic or laugh behind your back because they can't understand the fire burning inside you. That's fine, you don't need to convince them. You don't need to respond to every insult or try to earn respect through words. The moment you begin chasing validation, you lose momentum. Instead, go silent. Put your head down, get to work. Every early morning, every late night, every sacrifice. Let it add to the story you're writing, the legacy you're building. Because in the end, success is the most undeniable form of proof. You won't need to say a word when the results start showing. People will see the difference. They'll notice the growth, the transformation, the way you carry yourself differently. And slowly, the ones who once overlooked you will start paying attention. Some will admire you, others will envy you, but none will be able to ignore you. That's the power of letting your success speak. It turns silence into strength. While others talk, you build. While others mock, you master. While others scroll, you study. And when it's time, your results will speak on your behalf in a language louder than opinions, more convincing than explanations. So don't waste energy on proving anything to anyone. Focus on building something so real, so strong, and so impactful that it speaks for itself. Because when you reach that level, even your silence becomes a statement. In a world full of talkers, those who lead by action are rare and unforgettable. It's easy to speak about big dreams, to post about motivation, to make promises in front of an audience, but true leadership doesn't live in words. It lives in the quiet hours when no one's watching. It's defined by consistency, by discipline, and by the ability to keep showing up when the excitement fades. When you lead by action, you stop asking people to believe in you and start giving them a reason to. You become a living example of what's possible, not just someone who says it can be done, but someone who proves it through their habits, their results, and their attitude. People follow what they see, not what they hear. They respect what's real, not what's loud. Every decision you make, every step you take toward your goals becomes a message to the world that you are serious, that you are focused, and that you are not here to play games. The more you move with intention, the more your actions start to inspire without effort. That's how real influence is built, not by shouting, but by doing. It's not about leading a crowd. It's about leading yourself with such clarity and integrity that others naturally want to follow. And even when no one claps, even when the spotlight isn't on you, you keep moving, keep building, keep growing, because leadership rooted in action doesn't seek attention. It commands it eventually. People may ignore your words, but they can't ignore your progress. They may doubt your intentions, but they can't doubt your results. That's what makes action so powerful. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for applause. It simply delivers, and in doing so, it turns ordinary people into examples and silent effort into undeniable proof. If you want people to take you seriously, don't argue for your dreams. Walk them out. Let them see the weight you carry, the work you put in, and the standard you set. Then watch how your journey becomes a path others want to follow. In the race toward success, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind. You look around and see others achieving more, faster. They're getting the recognition, the money, the applause, while you're still grinding in silence, waiting for something to click. But here's the truth. Your timing is not theirs, and their journey is not yours. Life doesn't reward speed, it rewards alignment. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. The universe, life, or whatever you believe in doesn't operate on your schedule. It gives you what you're ready for, not what you wish for. And being ready doesn't just mean wanting it. It means being mentally, emotionally, and spiritually prepared to handle it. Some things take time because growth must happen in the waiting. That delay you're frustrated with, it might be the season where you're being shaped, tested, sharpened into someone who can carry the weight of the blessing that's coming. If you rush it, you might get it before you're ready, and that's the fastest way to lose everything. You don't build a strong house on a weak foundation, and you don't build a meaningful life on impatience. You have to trust that your moment will come, not in desperation, but in confidence. Believe in your timing. Know that while you're putting in the work, unseen forces are aligning. The right people, the right opportunities, the right moments. They're all making their way to you, slowly but surely. But only if you don't give up. Only if you don't sabotage your journey by comparing it to someone else's. What's meant for you will come to you, not sooner, not later, but exactly when it's supposed to. And when it does, all the waiting, all the struggle, all the lonely nights of quiet work will make sense. You'll look back and realize you weren't behind at all. You were just being built for something greater. Rejection is one of the most painful experiences in any journey, whether you're chasing a dream, building a career, or simply trying to grow into the person you're meant to be. It stings, it makes you question yourself, your value, and your direction. But what if rejection wasn't the end of the road? What if it was the push you needed to go further than you ever imagined? The truth is, rejection isn't a sign of failure, it's a test of resilience. It's life's way of asking you, how bad do you really want it? Anyone can move forward when doors open easily, but the ones who truly rise are those who learn to keep walking, even when every door seems to slam in their face. They don't let rejection break them, they let it sharpen them. Every no becomes a reason to improve. Every setback becomes a lesson in strategy, timing, and perseverance. The most successful people in the world didn't avoid rejection, they were shaped by it. They used it as fuel. They turned their frustration into focus, their disappointment into drive, because once you stop seeing rejection as a dead end and start seeing it as redirection, you become dangerous in the best way possible. You become relentless. You realize that rejection isn't about your worth. It's about alignment. It's life saying, not here, not yet, but keep going. And if you use it right, rejection will teach you how to rise without applause, how to believe in yourself without validation, and how to keep moving forward even when it hurts. That kind of strength can't be taught in comfort. It's built in moments of silence, doubt, and grit. So don't hide from rejection. Don't let it define you. Let it refine you. Let it push you to go harder, think smarter, and show the world that every time you were counted out, you were only getting closer to breaking through. Success doesn't come from a single burst of inspiration or one lucky break. It comes from showing up every day, whether you feel like it or not. Consistency is not exciting. It's not flashy. It rarely gets applause. But it is the secret ingredient behind every great achievement. The people who win are not always the most talented, the smartest, or even the strongest. They are the ones who kept going long after others gave up. They understood that progress is built in the small, repeated actions, the early mornings, the quiet nights, the disciplined routines. It's easy to be motivated for a day. Anyone can start something, but very few master the art of continuing, especially when results are slow or invisible. That's where consistency becomes your superpower. It teaches you patience, focus, and endurance. It trains your mind to stay committed to the process instead of being obsessed with the outcome. Even when no one is watching, even when nothing seems to be changing, every effort compounds. Every repetition sharpens your skill. Every hour you put in separates you from the crowd. Most people stop because they don't see quick results. But the truth is, the magic happens beneath the surface, in the unseen moments when you're still pushing, still trying, still trusting. Consistency builds trust, not just with others, but with yourself. It builds credibility, character, and confidence. And over time, it makes you unstoppable. The person who keeps showing up, no matter how they feel, becomes the one others start to notice. Because in a world full of distractions and short attention spans, consistency is rare, and what's rare becomes valuable. So while others chase quick wins or shortcuts, commit to the long game. Do it again and again, until it becomes who you are. Until the discipline becomes natural and the effort becomes identity. That's how excellence is built. Not in the loud moments, but in the quiet repetition of doing the right thing again and again. Your energy is your most valuable currency. It fuels your thoughts, your emotions, your creativity, and your ability to act. But too often, people give it away carelessly, feeding drama, overthinking, negativity, distractions, and people who drain more than they give. If you're not careful, your mind becomes a battlefield, constantly reacting to the noise around you, instead of focusing on what truly matters. That's why protecting your energy is not selfish, it's necessary. You cannot build something meaningful, chase a dream, or become the best version of yourself if you're constantly depleted, distracted, or emotionally exhausted. You need clarity, you need peace, and most importantly, you need boundaries. Not everyone deserves access to your time, your emotions, or your mental space. Some people will never understand your vision, and that's okay. They don't need to. What they think of you is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to preserve the fire within you, to guard your focus like it's sacred, because it is. Every goal you've set, every dream you've imagined, depends on your ability to stay centered in a world designed to pull you off balance. That means saying no without guilt. That means walking away from gossip, negativity, and the need to constantly explain yourself. That means choosing peace over proving a point. You have to be intentional about what you allow into your space, what you read, what you watch, who you talk to, what you give your attention to. Because energy flows where attention goes, and if you're always reacting, you're not creating. You can't elevate your life while staying in environments that drain you. Protecting your energy is how you stay in control. It's how you stay aligned with your purpose. It's how you keep your mind strong, your vision clear, and your spirit steady, even when everything around you feels chaotic. The most powerful people in the world aren't loud. They're calm, they're focused, they know what's worth their energy and what's not, and that wisdom is what sets them apart. So many people want the result, but aren't willing to fall in love with the process that leads to it. We live in a society that celebrates instant gratification, where the idea of waiting, struggling, or putting in sustained effort over time is seen as unnecessary or even undesirable. But the truth is, success isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey you take to get there. Every small step, every challenge, every setback, and every moment of doubt is part of the process that builds your character, your skill, and your resilience. When you embrace the process, you stop measuring yourself only by the end result. You learn to appreciate the daily grind, the work, and the growth that happens behind the scenes. You realize that the hard moments are not obstacles to success. They are the very ingredients that shape you into the person who can handle the success you desire. The process is where you build your foundation. It's where you learn to fail and get back up. It's where you develop patience, persistence, and discipline. The road may be long, and there will be times when the progress feels slow, but that's when the magic happens. It's in those moments when you feel like giving up that your true strength is being forged. The greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, and the most influential leaders didn't get there by shortcutting the process. They got there because they were willing to show up day after day, doing the hard work even when they didn't see immediate rewards. They embraced the discomfort, the uncertainty, and the struggle, knowing that it was all a part of becoming the person they needed to be to achieve their goals. The process is what transforms you. It teaches you to be resourceful, to think critically, and to never settle for mediocrity. It forces you to adapt, to find new solutions, and to keep pushing forward even when the road gets tough. If you can embrace the process, you'll begin to see it not as something to endure, but as something to savor. You'll stop waiting for the perfect moment, the right conditions, or the easy path. Instead, you'll realize that the process itself is the reward. It's the experience, the lessons, and the growth that make the destination worthwhile. When you fall in love with the process, you stop fearing the hard work. You understand that every ounce of effort is a step closer to who you are meant to become and what you are destined to achieve. And when you finally reach your goal, you'll look back not just at the achievement, but at the person you've become along the way.